It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join News Director Paul David and News Editor Philip Catafamo as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics in Yavapai County that affect all our lives. And now here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm your host, Paul David. As always, it is great to have you in studio today. We're sitting down with District 3 Yavapai County Supervisor Randy Garrison. Of course, we're going to be talking COVID-19 and the county's role in response to COVID-19. Website for you is yavapai.us. Yavapai.us. If you go there, you can find all kinds of COVID-19 information if you're still looking for ways to find it. Randy Garrison, welcome to studio.
Thank you. Thank you for having me in today.
We've got an interesting thing. We've been doing these on phone, and just so folks know, once COVID-19 is done and it's out, and we're back to kind of a normal lifestyle, we'll have things back to the way they used to be on Countywide. But in the meantime, let's keep everybody safe, and we'll do it over the phone. First question for you is: how is Yavapai County holding up when it comes to COVID-19?
I think we're holding up really well, actually. If you look across the state. We're doing okay. Our numbers have been going up, but very, very slowly compared to other things. Our neighbors to the north, their numbers are extremely high compared to ours. I think most of our population tends to be a little more spread out versus the Flagstaff market. So I think overall we're doing pretty good. Also, we didn't quite have the head start that they did, but our numbers have been holding fairly steady. The last update we had was yesterday, and we were at 46. I expect that to go up a couple more today. But one thing to keep in mind is some of those numbers should actually be coming off any day now. We've had quite a few people that have had it for a while and are being either released or being cleared. I think the health department is expecting to check on those people at about the 2-week mark and determine how they're feeling, what their signs are, and if they're cleared by the doctor, then hopefully we can start pulling those numbers back off the roll.
That's kind of the goal right now with this April state closure is we're supposed to peak this week. At least that's the talk. At least by mid-April, the numbers are supposed to peak. This is supposed to be a really bad week for COVID-19 cases across the country and around the world. And then hopefully we'll start seeing numbers go the opposite direction.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. That's what was expected from all the modeling. They were saying that we'll peak around mid-month for infections, and we'll peak around the end of the month for hospitalizations. So far, we've been very lucky on hospitalizations. Our hospitals are fully ramped up and ready for this. They've been preparing for a while, and to this date, at least, we haven't had to rely on those resources a whole lot, only a few beds. So we've been in pretty good shape.
Are we prepared for if it really does get bad in Yavapai County?
We're prepared hospital-wise, bed-wise. We've got, I think, about 200 beds between the Verde Valley VVMC and Northern Arizona Health Flagstaff Center. So I think we're in pretty good. Those are over and above what is normally available, and they've been cutting down on elective surgeries and admitting people into the hospital that really, really don't need to be there. Bed-wise and resource-wise, we're in pretty good shape, I think. Where we're really going to have a problem if we end up having a surge that everybody keeps talking about is the service providers, the help, the nurses and the doctors. That's where we're going to have the problem, because if one person gets infected in the hospital, then that takes up to a half a dozen other people out of play, and it doesn't take many of those incidents to happen before we have even less of a crew than we have currently. So labor and service providers is really going to be our biggest problem at the end of the day.
I don't think anybody thought we'd see this in our lifetime. How about you?
I remember reading the book back in high school. We got out of high school and read The Stand by Stephen King, and you think about that, and how this disease wipes out the world. And and takes out, the bulk of the population. And I mean, it's a plausible idea. It seemed a little far-fetched at the time, but as we evolve and diseases evolve and we become more and more chemically friendly, I guess, I think this is going to become kind of a new normal of sorts. I hate to say that, but diseases tend to be more resilient to the drugs that we use to treat them. They're more easily spread. We're a global neighborhood anymore. That's one of the things I was going to point out today is of all the cases, only a few of these have been community spread, and that typically is between husband and wife. The rest of these cases that we've come in, these positives, have been people that have come here from elsewhere and have brought it here with them. There's Sedona market, and ultimately the Verde Valley market is becoming a higher percentage of second homes. And so, people are coming here to hunker down instead of being in the city where theoretically it's more dense and more fragile, and the disease rates are higher. So they come up here, and unfortunately some of them have brought it with them. And so luckily we do have a lot of open space. We do have our community centers, but they tend to still be very rural. And so I think, overall we're going to weather through this whole thing pretty well. And we'll see how it goes. But I'm encouraged. The numbers appear to be normalizing, stabilizing at least. I saw on the news this morning the White House is saying that the numbers have kind of peaked, and they see them stabilizing or hopefully going the other direction. China, we're 8 weeks behind China. Their numbers are going backwards. We're 5 weeks behind Seattle. Their numbers are going backwards. So hopefully, because we attacked it a little earlier than both those two places, also we have a little more rural nature that, we're going to suffer through this quite a bit better, and you're going to see things get back to at least what'll be the new normal fairly soon.
Now, you're a Yavapai County Board of Supervisor, and there's your daily tasks that go along with that. How's life changed for you in terms of your District 3 role as a supervisor during this COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, in a couple ways. One is, I tend to be very hands-on, so I like to go out and go to people. I don't like to have people come into the office. We like to be out in the neighborhoods. Brandy and I, we do put in a lot of our time. The bulk of our time is going out to the different parts of the district as well as the other side of the hill where the bulk of the services are and the directors are. So we spend a lot of time on the road, and so this has really cut down on our ability to be out in front of people and be dealing with people on a one-to-one basis or a 10-to-1 basis. So that's changed. We've adapted technology-wise quite a bit. We're starting to use Zoom and Teams and other online resources to start to have our meetings, and those are starting to get back to somewhat of a normalized case now. But the other part of that is things have just been shut down, period, because of this. Everybody's time and energy and thoughts and everything has been focused on this disease and their neighborhoods and their families and their own health and their own safety and resources and just taking care of normal day-to-day business. So that's also, put everything else that we do completely on the back burner. But, we continue to get emails, we continue to get concerns from the public, and we have to continue to answer those. So we're still working full-time. We're just not working here in the office as much, or at least the bulk of us. Brandy's been working, off-site, and I've been coming into the office. But I can tell you the building here is a ghost town. I got like 4 cars in the parking lot, and we have to keep our services up and running, but we're doing it in a much different way than normal.
All right, let's take our first break. District 3 Yavapai County Supervisor Randy Garrison with me on the phone today. This is Countywide. Website for you is yavapai.us. Stick around. Countywide back in just a couple minutes.
Do you need more closet space? Hi, I'm Tracy Shadley, owner of Organize A to Z. We provide professional custom design solutions to keep you and your space organized, which helps reduce your stress, increase your productivity, and allows you to take control of your belongings. We are proud to be locally owned and operated, specializing in custom closets, garages, offices, and pantries. Call me today for your free consultation. Organize your space, organize your life.
Two things we can count on every year:
a new set of tax rules and great weather here in northern Arizona.
Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, locally owned and operated by Lewis Rice since 1997, is here for you all year long.
Your neighborhood Jackson Hewitt Tax Office will help you in all of your taxing situations.
Electronic filing is always free with your tax preparation at Jackson Hewitt Tax Service.
Get more in return. Call 1-800-234-1040 for an office near you.
With too many senior homeowners falling short in their retirement dreams, there may be great news for you. A reverse mortgage may be the answer. The flexibility it provides may help you with your retirement dreams, peace of mind, and quality of life in your retirement. For your in-home, no-obligation consultation, contact me at 928-225-7418. That's 928-225-7418. Or you can find me at Facebook at Jim Hostler, Reverse Mortgage Specialist.
Hi, this is Lori and Melissa from Sedona Soul Spaces. We are the premier source for all your interior design, decorating, and staging needs.
Every day people ask, why didn't I call you sooner?
Let us use our passion, creativity, and experience to make your life easier.
Don't make costly mistakes. Call us and we will help save you time and money.
We offer full-service interior design, custom furnishings,
complete home staging, turnkey vacation home packages.
Sedona Soul Spaces, creating extraordinary spaces that delight your soul.
Welcome back to Countywide. District 3 Yavapai County Supervisor Randy Garrison on the phone with me this morning. Yavapai.us is the website. Randy, let me ask you this. The impact of this, it's really hard to wrap your head around just how quickly this happened. We were just talking during the break about the economy and how it was robust, it was strong, it was doing really well. But here in a period of 2 to 3 weeks, it has completely tanked. It didn't take any time at all. This has had such a great impact on small businesses and families and people out of work. What can we say to those folks out there?
Just remain hopeful. We've been saying for quite a while, leave the drama on Netflix and HBO, be careful of where you get your information. Be careful of the information that you allow yourself to absorb and retain, and definitely be careful of the information that you share. We've got on our website, if you go to yavapai.us/CHS, that's Community Health Services, we keep that updated twice a day. That gives you all the numbers. It gives you a little better breakdown of where these cases are and how they're being handled and how our hospitals are being impacted. And then if you go to yavapai.us/District 3, and that's the numeral 3, you'll bring up some of the resources that we're starting to put up on the website where you can go. Community resources. We have a lot of resources for the homeless. We have food resources out there. We have just healthcare resources, counseling resources. There's a lot of people giving time and efforts into free counseling right now. We've started having some suicides have been reported as an impact of this disease, this virus, and that's just not a good thing. People need to just calm down, take a breath. We're going to get through this. Don't panic. Fear is probably the strongest weapon that's ever been unleashed on mankind, and we seem to be fully under its grip at the moment, and that's just not a good situation. People need to just calm down a little bit, sit back, realize what they have, the resources they have around them, and try and move forward in a positive manner. This will go away, and we're going to come out of it a little stronger, a little more savvy, and a little more prepared for the next time. Just sit back and try and relax. Another thing we've been pushing out a lot is pay attention to your neighbors and your family. You're home, you're stuck home, so are they. Sometimes we've got some of our elder, people are live in our neighborhood, our elder citizens and our older population and our single-family homes. They get out and they get their social by getting out. Right now they can't do that, and people tend to be so focused on themselves they forget to check on their neighbors and their friends. So you get a minute, put down Facebook and and reach out and get a hold of those neighbors and those friends that maybe aren't hearing from other people quite as often as they need to.
Maybe you know more than I do about this, but the testing has been a big concern since the start of this because it was a new virus, so we didn't have a test for a new virus, but then we developed a test for this virus, and the test has gotten easier and easier, but the results take forever to get back. Is that continuing to improve right now?
Yeah, we're down to a 2-day average on the testing. Part of the problem was there was only a couple labs in the state that were set up for testing, and so most of the tests were being shipped out of country, or out of state at least. A lot of them were being sent to California. Those are now being, a lot of the Department of Health Services really did a great job in stepping up. So did some of our hospitals in opening up labs so we could test them. One of the big problems we had right off the bat was we had a real lack of swabs. We had test kits, but we didn't have enough swabs to do the testing, at least. So there's two parts of this. There's collection of the sample, and then there's the actual testing. So a lot of samples were actually being collected, but they weren't being processed, at least not in a timely manner. We've gotten much better about that. So things are getting better there all the time. And we're also coming up with other tests. There's a test that just was approved last week that's a 5-minute test, and it can be run in a regular lab, and all it's going to do is tell you whether you've been exposed or not. And so hopefully those will be getting out en masse here pretty soon. I think that'll become a staple that people will have sitting on the shelves here pretty soon. But I think we're doing a pretty good job of testing and getting them done. Another thing to keep in mind is we've done just an inordinate amount of tests. I'm trying to look up and see what the number is. It's staggering. We're only finding positives in like 7% of the tests that we have available. I'm trying to find that number. Sorry about that.
That's okay. You look.
But, we've done a tremendous amount of testing. There for a while, one of the problems we were having was Flagstaff had gotten, because they have linked to a healthcare provider up there, they were given a significant amount of testing resources, and so they'd opened up some drive-through clinics, and unfortunately it was easier to get a test in Flag than it was in most other places around the state. So people were driving all the way up to northern Arizona to get their tests done, and unfortunately they were bringing it with them. And so also, we were only giving tests with a doctor's order. I think that still stands for the most part. We had just a ton of people that wanted to be tested, whether they were showing signs or not, and they were only testing those who actually had symptoms. And unfortunately, by the time you're tested, it really isn't going to do much for you other than show that you have it. You've already been contagious to that point and hopefully haven't spread it. So the test really was kind of a day late and a dollar short regardless, but it does at least help us give a better understanding of how this works through our population and the places where the exposure could have been and those that could have been exposed, which gives us a little head start on getting to those and making sure they keep good track of their health, and if they start showing signs, we can get on top of it a little quicker.
Now, you had mentioned a little earlier that you and Brandy are both hands-on, face-to-face, out there, talking to the people, and that's not been the case now over the last few weeks. So how is technology, if we didn't have technology right now, I think things would be far more difficult, but how is the technology going for you? It's working out pretty good.
Yeah, technology is actually working out really well. I don't tend to be a paper person anyway. I'd rather go digital, and unfortunately, early adopters don't tend to, have a crowd around them. And so most of the people here at the county, and we're also pretty stingy with their funding. So, we kind of lag behind when it comes to adopting new technology. And so this has really forced a lot of the people I work with, a lot of the other organizations we work with to kind of grasp technology and move forward, whether they liked it or not. And I think for the most part, it's been accepted pretty well, and it's also proved to be very efficient. There's still nothing like a face-to-face meeting with somebody, looking them in the eye and being able to hear inflection. And you can still get that on screen, but not quite to the same point that you can otherwise. One of the things I'll tell you that's been amazing out of this whole thing is we've been really out there promoting and working with the chambers of commerce in our different communities, the city of Sedona especially, and city of Cottonwood, on trying to get our small business people, get the resources to them and get the information to them as quickly as possible so we can hopefully save a lot of these small businesses that put so many of our workforce to work every day. And so the Chamber the other day put up, and we had the second one just this last Friday, we've had 2 meetings now online through Zoom to get the small business community in front of the resources, allow them to ask questions and give them the links and the information they need to start applying for some of these federal loans and federal grants and payroll assistance. And the very first meeting we had, which was set up in less than 48 hours, it was set up in about a day and a half. We had 172 people online. That's an amazing amount of people in one space at a time, and yet they were all at their home or on their phone out away from each other, yet we had a real community event, and it was amazing to see how good that actually worked. And so I think people are going to realize that we don't have to meet in groups as much. We don't have to travel as much, and I think we'll become a little more efficient in getting information, getting one-to-ones with people, and starting to have more meetings without having to expect people to travel to do it.
All right, let's take our second break. District 3 Yavapai County Supervisor Randy Garrison in studio with me today. Website is yavapai.us. Stick around, Countywide, back in just a couple minutes.
Solid Rock Fitness is a one-on-one fitness studio specializing in fitness over 50. I train older adults of all fitness levels, from athletes and avid sports participants to folks with chronic pain to those recovering from surgeries. You and I will focus on strength training to improve overall muscle tone, core conditioning, balance, agility, flexibility, and nutrition. Mastery of these components of fitness will help you live your life to the fullest with confidence and competence.
Paul Stanley here with Stanley Steel Structures. We offer shade structures that provide style, value, and performance. Our Equinox louvered roof opens and closes to give you the ultimate patio experience. We also offer Alumawood shade covers that looks like wood but lasts like steel and never needs painting or maintenance. Visit us at StanleySteelStructures.com. Contact us today and be covered tomorrow. Stanley Steel Structures. Let us add some space to your place.
The EPA says C&B Construction ranks in the top 1% nationally. C&B Construction invites you to see what energy efficiency and indoor air quality can be. We have won another Department of Energy Innovation Award, and C&B Construction is the only contractor in the country to win 6 consecutive EPA Indoor Air Plus awards. Experience our zero-energy, move-in ready homes at Crossroads at Mingus.
C&B Construction, locally respected, nationally recognized. Find out more at C&B Homes.com.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
Welcome back to Countywide. We've got just a few minutes left in the program. Website for you, yavapai.us. District 3 Yavapai County Supervisor Randy Garrison in studio with us today. So we've got a few weeks of this to go. At least that's the hope, is that, originally it was the president was talking about maybe by Easter, and then that was definitely put away, and now it's the end of April. And I guess there's a possibility this could drag on even longer than the end of April in terms of a state of the state being closed, or are we're hoping the state will open and we'll start to move about again. But it's possible, isn't it, that this might continue on a little bit longer?
Yeah, it's possible, but not probable. Like I said, it looks like our numbers have stabilized, and at least they're not ramping up as fast as they were. I think we're pretty much at the peak of it, but they expect you to stay quarantined or set apart from everybody for about 10 to 14 days. So I think, the governor set out the end of April is really kind of a expectation of when people should expect things to go back to somewhat normal, at least to be able to get out and about. I don't think that'll ever be the normal that we knew. So I think we're going to see that, and I think the numbers will show it much earlier than that. But I think to be safe, you're going to see the governor and the government at least really try and get people to slow down going back to everyday normal. So, but one thing I wanted to make sure that people understand is we have just a ton of resources available. We have a ton of people out there willing to give a hand and help in so many ways, mentally, physically, and in any services or any supplies you need. We've got a lot of people working very hard to keep you covered. So people need to just really just calm down, take a breath, look around them, and realize the sky isn't falling. We just have a situation that's not normal, and it leads to a lot of fear and trepidation. And we'll get through this. We'll get through it. Take this time to enjoy your friends and your family, and do some honeydews around the house, get some things cleaned up, some tasks taken care of, and stay out of Facebook so much and all the drama there, and just enjoy life a little bit, enjoy the outdoors, away from everybody as much as possible, and just wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a better day. It really is.
All right. Well, thank you very much for taking some time with me today. I really appreciate that.
Thank you for allowing us on the show and to spread this information. And we really are working hard to do everything we can to help everybody through this time. So I appreciate your help in doing that.
All right, that's District 3 Yavapai County Supervisor Randy Garrison. Again, that website, yavapai.us. That's been today's Countywide. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you again next time.